okay, this tank, I'm possibly going to get that on Friday as well. That's another tank that I'm very interested in checking out. It's the Grant, which is basically, well, I think it's the M3. Which obviously it's not called there, but Cruiser Tank Grant 1. Yeah, that's the English variant. I don't know. I mean, this is, again, it's kind of a bit silly, because the English variant lacked, there's an additional turret on this tank that actually sits on top of the top turret. And yeah, I don't know what that's about. Which had another machine gun in. Now, the English variant didn't have that. It was the one that's shown here. The Americans, as far as I know, I don't know if they actually used this variant or not. They probably did, but it's you know, they almost immediately replaced it with the M3 Lee, which, like I say, has another machine gun mounted in a little cupola there. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, as far as effectiveness goes, you can see from the front of that, that's quite nicely sloped. The armour is pretty decent frontally. Obviously, you've got the sponson there, which isn't necessarily as well armoured, but you've also got a nice slope on the rest of the hull. So it is quite nicely armoured on the front. Not particularly thick armour though, it's only 50 mil, but that combined with the slope adds up. If that's at round about, is that 45 degrees? That's actually that's a really decent slope on that piece of armour there. Now, let me just check, it should actually tell me in the armour. Yeah, slope angle is 54 degrees. That's close to being optimal for angling. Basically, if a shot comes in at the tank at a horizontal level, i.e., you know, it's coming at ground level, tangent to the ground, parallel to the ground, it will strike the armor, and because of the way it's angled, it will actually add to the thickness of the armor. The effective thickness at that point there is only 38 millimeters, but the effective thickness is over 190 millimeters because of the way the sloping works. Basically, you know, if someone shoots you in that position there on that slope, it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce pretty much no matter where they strike it from. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I do actually misunderstand something there. Yeah. Okay. I don't need a big red warning symbol like that on my screen. Why is that there? Guiding you idiots at times. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. I've just figured out something as far as the way the armor rather overlay works. The angle is calculated as far as what you're looking at with regards to the screen. So for example, if I'm down here like this, I look at that, the armor thickness is different to if I'm looking at it like that, if you see. Yeah, basically it understands, you know, you're looking at it from a different angle and modifies the effective thickness in comparison to what you're looking at. So let's just have a quick look and see. I mean, because the reason why I got like 190 plus on that was because of the angle. If you look at the angle, if I'm shooting at a tank, shooting at the Grant, and I'm shooting it and hit it there from this angle, 157 the effective thickness on that piece of armor. Here, yeah, 45 mil. That'll go through like a hot knife through butter going through on the side there. But yeah, a lot of the time you're going to be facing this tank from the front. Now, as far as any weak spots go, you've got this area here, which that, although it is still sloped, it's not anywhere near as well sloped as this area here. So that's quite a weak spot just there, this panel, and the actual, you know, vision device there, which is possibly for the driver, I think. Turret, yeah, that's a bad spot to be aiming at to begin with anyway. Unless that's the only thing you can see, you don't want to be shooting at it. As far as the sponson goes, you see, that is quite a big weak spot itself. This sponson here is a big weak spot because the armor thickness is actually really thin. The maximum thickness there I just came across, apart from the gun barrel, from that crazy angle would be, yeah, that's mental. But the thickest point was around about there. Yeah, effective thickness 66 mm, and that's down here. The biggest parts of it, you're going to be looking at around about 50 mm, 55 mm, or less, which is pretty thin for armouring, in armour terms rather, especially at this tier. Well, pretty much for anything above tier 1 it's bad. This is tier 2, so its battle rate isn't that, and its battle rate isn't that high, so it's not going to fight against massively overpowered opponents, but all of the opponents will pen out this area here. Something like a Pz.II, no, that Pz.II, the only area I think it will be able to pen this tank, in fact, no, it's not. I don't think it can actually pen this tank on any position. So yeah, a Pz.II, I guess. I mean, I've not actually checked. We'll have a quick look, just to recheck. Pz.II is up here. Your reserve tank. Just to check the ammunition with regards to the cannon. So on penetration, 35 mm at really short range. So, and that's with the good stuff. 37 mm at 10 meters. It might literally just get through, but whether actually no, there you go. That one will. That should be the one I'm using, but for some reason I was on that one. Okay, that's got a penetration of 50 millimeters at 10 meters. You would literally have to be at point blank range to penetrate the Grant, but you can do it. But most of the time that isn't going to be fine again.